Hey everyone, I wanted to hop on and share my quick recap of what I've learned this semester through community and public health nursing and how it ties to our course objectives. One of my biggest takeaways was learning how the nursing process can be applied outside of the hospital to promote and help prevent disease, promote health, and prevent disease, especially with diverse and vulnerable populations. And that connects to our course objective that focuses on using evidence based knowledge to promote health across the lifespan. And my example for this is during my volunteer for it was the free health clinic and then the health screen with Camp Rise Above at Camp Cole. I worked alongside the camp nurse, the head camp nurse, and we screened kids during check-in before they were dropped off for camp. And these campers come from incredibly diverse backgrounds. Some have chronic illness, some have disabilities, some are physical, some are intellectual, some are complex medical histories. They can include like transplant recipients, things like that. Also, with those kids come the option, if their sibling falls in the age range for the camp, they are welcome to attend camp with that child, kind of as a support system. And you know, sometimes parents don't like to send one kid to camp if they can't send both kids to camp, and you can't always send these medically fragile children to a regular camp, which is the purpose of Camp Rise Above. So they leave the option open for siblings to be able to attend camp with this camper, even though they're healthy. But back to the story. Part of our job was to make sure that everybody was well enough to stay at camp. We did a thorough assessment, head down to feet. No lice, no illness, no skin breaks in skin, no bruises, no, you know, outright illness. We checked their feet, blisters, cracks, ulcers, because they're going to be at camp on their feet the whole time. So foot health is very important if they are able to be on their feet. We do have some wheelchair bound kids, so we do still check their feet, but it's not a big of a deal. And we also, after that, will help reconcile their medications. The parents come up, go over what they've entered in the computer, hopefully, before camp, with what they've brought into camp, to make sure we have everything we need to comply with their medication regimen while they're at camp. And then we just help promote a safe environment. They're going to be outside. We're making sure they have their water bottle, their sunscreen, they know the camp rules, good stuff like that. And then, we're not doing basic vitals. We're looking at the whole picture. Physical, emotional, social factors, everything in community health, and that's what we're looking at with these kids too, because a good bit of them are things you can see, but some aren't. Some of these kids are ADHD, some have anxiety. Before we wrapped up check-ins for the day, one camper mom had already gone, and before the end of check-ins, he was in the medical building, had worked himself up so so much being anxious that he was physically ill. So we try to smooth things over and make him feel comfortable. He had a bad experience at that camp, at that, not our camp there, but a camp at the same site. So he was kind of worried that he was going to have another bad experience with Camp Rise Above there. So we try to get on top of things and to fix them and not have to call mom and dad and worry them. We try to fix things if we can, especially the first day. If we can get them past the first day, usually it's smooth sailing. It's usually that initial, you leave mom and dad, that new things kind of thing. But we try to look at the whole picture, look at what we can do to make them feel, just like this is a safe and welcoming and inclusive environment that, that they can have fun and just be themselves and not have to worry about anything other than being a kid. Another example from our objectives would be the objective that tied to understanding how broader environments like political, economic, social factors impact care. And I'm going to use a camp example again because this year we only had one kid that we had to call the guardian back because he would not be able to stay. The situation was during assessment, we noticed somehow he got jumbled up in the mix. The guardian ended up leaving while he was doing the assessment. And during assessment, it was found that he had blisters on his hands and feet. They were just forming. They had not popped. He had no fever yet. So he was showing early signs of hand, foot, and mouth. Was our nurse practitioner's best, So we pulled him to the side. And, we want to not spread this because we have like 70 something kids and it's a whole check-in process. But we need to isolate him, but not make him feel singled out, and not make him, you got to really take into consideration like the camper's background and what they have going on and how best to handle these situations, which kind of ties back into the social factors and what they have going on at home and what they've already experienced, if they're at home with parents or in foster care, or because a lot of our kids are in foster care, because you don't want to make them feel like anything they're doing or have wrong is their fault, or something they've done. So you kind of just have to work the situation and keep all these other campers safe, while you're researching how to clean all these areas, because you don't want anybody else to get sick. So it's like, just working everything. You got one nurse over here keeping them chill in one area, the other nurses over here looking up how to clean and cleaning. Then you got our nurse practitioner over here calling the guardian, letting her know what's going on, that she needs to come back and what he needs to follow up and do, and just, working on how contagious disease management connects to our policies and public health, and keeping the larger group safe would be that experience for that objective for me. But, this class was really good. It gave me a taste of just different areas because I did work on, immigrants and problems they face. We did the windshield survey of the area. I ended up doing an area close to me that I knew I lived close to but didn't know a lot about. So that was interesting. And just it helps you apply, your critical thinking skills to what you're doing out in the real world to make sure people are safe and that you're practicing, evidence-based practice, basically using evidence-based practice. But it was a great class. I wish I would have gotten to go to Africa. That was the plan. But I started a new job as a NICU nurse, so boo. If y'all ever need somebody to go for a chaperone, maybe I'll go. But I enjoyed it. I thank y'all. Have a great day.